when a dream changes your life. There was once an old man named Lenny. Lenny only cooked food in the toaster oven. Never would he use anything else to cook his food. When he was a boy, however, he had used many different methods to cook, such as the stovetop, the microwave, or the open fire after he poured gasoline on it. This was once the way he worked. But this all changed after, as a boy, Lenny had a dream. He remembers it like this. There he was in a large warehouse. The walls were grey and dirty and the ceiling rose up so high Lenny could not see it. There were large shelves lined up all around that were full of kitchen appliances. Lenny walked around, curious to see what all was here. He saw mixers and beaters, choppers and cutters, grinders and noodle-making machines, and more. Everything an aspiring chef might desire. Lenny felt like he was in heaven, but soon it became like hell. Suddenly, low and sad, All My Exes live in Texas began to play all around him. It came from everywhere, but nowhere in particular. This chilled Lenny to his soul. Fear and adrenaline pumped through his veins. And if this wasn't enough to scare the living daylights out of him, then what came next certainly did. Out from behind one of the shelves came a giant Dennis Quaid, who was singing Happy Birthday over the top of the music that was already playing. It was disgustingly off-tune and hurt Lenny's inner being. Lenny began to run away, and Big Dennis ran after him. Shelves crashed down in the chase and everything that crashed to the floor crashed with the beat. As he ran, Lenny recited every infomercial he had ever seen, for he knew them all by heart. Has this ever happened to you? You try to. This gave Lenny the courage to turn and face the monstrosity. Lenny grabbed a Ronco knife set and held it up in front of him. He screamed, "You shall not pass!" Dennis was unfazed and grabbed a giant Ronco knife of his own. But, because Dennis was trying to invent a dance for Happy Birthday at the same time, he accidentally cut himself. He screamed in pain and fell to the floor clutching his uninjured hand. Then, out from the shadows, stepped an average bald man. The average bald man turned to Lenny, with deep compassion in his eyes and said, "I'm sorry you had to go through that. Here, take this as a condolence." Bald, average man handed Lenny a cheap toaster oven and smiled lovingly at the ground. "Thank you. I'll treasure this forever," Lenny said as he accepted the overly gracious gift. Then, the average bald man fell to his knees and turned to the sky. "Gutter ally," he uttered these words, "it looks like we might have trouble selling flashlights tonight. And by the way, can I have a pickle?" Lenny woke up in a cold sweat. Breathing hard, he smiled. He knew from that day on, he would never cook with anything other than a toaster oven, even unto death. The end.